want to start this video with something I truly believe in. Being financially well isn't about how much money you make or how many zeros are in your bank account. It is about how you feel about your life. It's about waking up without that constant weight in your chest. It's about having options, not necessarily luxury. It's about feeling calm, stable, and free to dream again. The internet makes it look like wealth has to be loud. Designer bags, expensive trips, million-dollar portfolios, or expensive dinners. But I have learned the real signs you are doing financially well are often quiet, hidden, and ordinary. And sometimes they show up in ways you might not even recognize. So in this video, I want to walk you through 7 subtle signs you are doing better financially than you think. Because if you have ever felt like you are behind, I promise by the end, you'll realize you are further ahead than you have been giving yourself credit for. Number 1, you sleep well at night. You know how many people say money can't buy happiness? That's true, but it can buy peace. When you're not losing sleep over late bills or overdraft fees, that's a luxury most people underestimate. Sleeping well means you have built some kind of stability, maybe an emergency fund, maybe steady income, and maybe just better habits. It means your nervous system finally believes you are safe. That right there is wealth. It's the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't show up on Instagram, but shows up in your heartbeat, your breathing, and your calm. If you can lay your head down at night and not spiral about money, you are doing better than most. Surveys show that nearly 8 out of 10 Americans have lost sleep over financial worries. Think about that. If you're sleeping soundly, you are already ahead of most people. Number 2, you can handle an emergency without panic. A few weeks ago, my dog Boba somehow got into a bag of chocolate, and within an hour, she was puking everywhere. On the floor, the rug, you name it. It was around 8 p.m., so I had to rush her to an after-hours emergency vet. When they gave me the estimate, somewhere between $1,500 to $3,200, I didn't even hesitate. I swiped my card so fast, it probably left skid marks on the counter. And in that moment, I realized something important. Being able to handle an unexpected expense like that without panic, without needing to check my bank account first, that's real financial freedom. It's not the flashy kind, but the quiet, comforting kind that shows up when life hits you sideways and you are still okay. That's financial strength in disguise. And number 3, you are not comparing yourself as much anymore. That was probably a time when you saw someone's vacation, a new car, a house, and thought, ugh, I am so behind. But now you can scroll without that pit in your stomach. You're content. You might admire what others have, but you don't need it to feel good about yourself. There's actually data behind this too. Study shows that most people constantly compare their finances to others, especially on social media. One survey found that nearly 1 in 3 young adults feel the most pressure when comparing their wealth, and almost everyone, 96%, admits to feeling some emotional impact when they see others doing better online. We scroll, we see highlight reels, and without realizing it, we start measuring our progress against someone else's filtered version of success. But the truth is, most of what we see isn't even real wealth. It's performance. When you stop comparing, you take back your focus, your peace, and your power. That's when you start building wealth that actually feels good, not just looks good. Number 4, you're not afraid to check your bank account. This one's underrated. Remember the days you would avoid opening up your bank app because you didn't want to see the damage? Now you check it calmly, maybe even with a sense of curiosity. There's actually research showing how common this fear is. One survey found that more than half of the Americans, about 55%, admit they avoid checking their bank account because it triggers anxiety. And among younger adults, over 40% of Gen Zs say that they purposely avoid looking at their balance altogether. It's crazy when you think about it. Money is supposed to be a tool, but for so many people, it's become a source of fear. So if you have reached a point where you can open your bank account calmly, even curiously, that's progress. That's emotional wealth, not just financial. It means you're not living in avoidance anymore. You are aware, you're organized, and you trust yourself with money. Number 5, you're starting to dream again. When you're financially struggling, all your mental energy goes to survival. How do I make it through this month? But when you start feeling safe again, your brain switches from survival mode to creation mode. You start thinking about travel, investments, maybe starting a business or taking time off. You start thinking long term. That's not daydreaming. That's a sign your foundation is solid enough to support vision again. You're no longer stuck in reaction. You're thinking in expansion. And that's one of the clearest signs that your relationships with money has shifted from fear to freedom. Number 6, you don't feel pressure to prove anything to anyone anymore. This one's big because it's emotional wealth. You no longer need to post every trip or show every purchase, or justify your financial choices to anyone. You're not trying to look successful, you're simply living in a way that feels aligned. I actually stopped posting my life online years ago. I used to feel like I had to update people, show what I was doing, where I was going, and what I achieved. But honestly, it's been so peaceful not to. I don't feel the need to prove anything anymore. Instead, I spend my time doing things that actually matter, like creating content on YouTube to share what I have learned about money, or just being present with my family. I get to focus on my mental and physical health instead of how I look online. That's when you know your ego and your wallet have finally stopped fighting each other. There's this calm confidence that comes when you realize I don't need to buy things or post things to show I am doing well. I already know I am doing well. That's the quiet wealth. It's not the loud, look at me kind. It's the still, powerful kind that lets you move through life with ease and self-respect. And lastly, number 7, you feel gratitude more than guilt when you spend. When you are financially anxious, every purchase feels like a mistake. You buy something and immediately think, ugh, I shouldn't have. But when you're financially grounded, the emotion that follows spending isn't guilt. It's gratitude. You swipe your card and you think, I am so thankful I can afford this. That mental shift is massive because guilt keeps you trapped in scarcity, but gratitude keeps you open to abundance. You're not spending to fill a void anymore. You're spending because you can, because it adds value, because you've earned it. And that's what balance feels like. Let's be honest, these signs won't go viral on social media. They're not dramatic, they're not super sexy, but they are real. Because true financial wellness doesn't show up in luxury. It shows up in stability. It's not in the car you drive. It's in the fact that you can drive it without worrying about the payment. It's not in the size of your home. It is the peace you feel when you walk through the door. It's not in your income. It is in your ability to breathe deeply and sleep soundly. And maybe, just maybe, you're already there. If you recognize even 2 or 3 of these signs, you are doing better than you think. You might not feel rich yet, but you're building something far more valuable, peace of mind. And peace of mind compounds, just like money. The more you nurture it with good habits, steady effort, and gratitude, the richer your life feels, even before your bank balance catches up. So tonight, when you crawl into bed, I want you to remember this. The ability to rest without worry, to handle what life throws your way, to not compare, to feel calm, and to be thankful for what you have, those are not small things. They're milestones of quiet success. And hey, if this video helped you feel a little lighter, hit the like button so more people can find it. Because the truth is, most people are doing better than they think. They just need someone to remind them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.